Josh Emmett in action here, UFC 284 this weekend here in Perth. We are live here at the open workouts. Robert Whittaker. Josh Emmett, geez, having a fair crack. I know it's just a workout, but geez, he's certainly showing all his tools and his power.
Yeah, he is, and I love to see it. I'm the sort of guy that my open workouts, I may as well just put on a show and make it a workout. And it looks like that's exactly what Josh is doing. Wrapped his hands up properly, got in there, and he's doing his craft well. And I've got to say, he's looking crisp, he's looking sharp, like tight, explosive scrapping.
Yeah, absolutely. And he takes on Yair Rodriguez in the interim featherweight championship this weekend at the co-main event against Yair Rodriguez. Now, this fight is guaranteed fireworks. Yair Rodriguez with 5 first-round finishes in his career, Emmett with 6. It's going to be incredible.
I think it'll be an incredible fight, but I don't know. I'm gonna go the opposite end with you, and I reckon this will be 5 rounds. I just think Josh he's obviously got to try and get inside, utilise his takedowns, get his tight-knit boxing, scrapping underway, and he's just going to be trying to keep the distance, setting up traps, using some tricky moves, which he loves to do. And, you know, I always find it very hard to bet against Yair because I just love the way he fights, and he's so crafty and creative in the octagon, and he utilises every tool he has at his disposal. But Emmett's looking good, man, and he's looked good in his past few fights. And I think Emmett knows he's also what, he's 37 now. Yeah. So I think he knows that, like, he needs to win this fight. Like, this is his run. This is his moment.
Yeah. Well, we've spoken about the power in his hands, but gee, he's showing his wrestling skills at the moment. What are you liking from what you see of Josh Emmett right now?
And I was talking about this with you before, and he's a powerful wrestler. He knows when to take his shots, and when he gets his shots, he's so strong and explosive at controlling his opponents. He's so aggressive. He makes guys hesitate going in, and that's when they open holes for him to capitalize on.
We spoke about how Volk will go from fighting a wrestler to fighting a striker in his next fight, but gee, I wonder how Alex Volkanovski would feel, I guess, seeing how good a wrestler Josh Emmett is. And as you mentioned, he's such a powerful guy on the mats.
Yeah, he's a powerful dude, but Volk's a powerhouse in his own right, you know, and I am very interested in seeing him come back down and defend his belt when it's time to do that. But Josh Emmett he's a force to be reckoned with. If he can get over Yair, I think Volk's going to have a hard fight.
Well, speaking of knockout artists, we've got one of our own in action this weekend, Della Maddalena. Take a look at this.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Well, you want to talk about a fighter that has some hype on his name. Enter Della Maddalena.
I realise there's a bit of hype around the name, but at the end of the day, there is no amount of hype that is going to help you when there's another fighter across from there trying to pretty much kill you until the referee stops it. I'm just preparing myself every day for that moment, and I've sort of put the hype behind me, and it doesn't bother me at all.
Oh my goodness, that was smooth.
What I'm focusing on is getting in the cage in Perth and literally lighting someone up and putting someone out. I think when that cage door closes, it's just free, you know. You can do whatever you like, literally kill or be killed. I'm prepared to die and kill if need be. Honestly, I think the difference in fighting in Perth will be more the walkout, that sort of thing, the lead up to the fight. But again, I think when I cruise into the cage, I think all the other distractions at that point are completely out of the head, and it's just focusing on honestly destroying the person that's in front of me at any cost of my own. My plan is to go into this year and pretty much do the same thing I did last year. 2023 is going to be even bigger, and I'm going to shock the world, you know, and I'm going to be fighting someone deep in that top 10 at the end of the year. Prepare for all hell to break loose.
Ladies and gentlemen, believe the hype.
Della Maddalena may just be the most exciting Australian prospect at the moment, Robert Whittaker. He's just got such an exciting fighting style, doesn't he?
He does, and you know what I really appreciate that he does in a lot of his fights? He's aggressive with the way he slips his shots. So he aggressively, offensively slips a shot to land 2 of his own, and he's so good at doing that. And it takes a lot of confidence in your craft to be able to do that and pull it off to such effect.
Well, the UFC is clearly behind this bloke because they've placed him quite favourably on just about every card that he's been on since coming through on the Contender Series. That's good to see when the company respects you in such regard.
Definitely, definitely. And You know, he got Rookie of the Year last year.
Yeah.
He is an exciting prospect. He's finished all of his fights. He is the next prospect coming out of Australia.
And the way that he carries himself as well, like, I mean, he's such an unassuming guy, but occasionally he'll pull out something that you weren't expecting. Like, I mean, he called out the top 5 welterweights the last time we heard from him, for goodness sake.
Yeah, I think I said this before. Like, sometimes I feel like his demeanour and his personality don't match what the words he's actually saying.
Yeah.
Like he's so soft-spoken and like humble and just keeping it cool, but he's saying things like, "I'm going to smash everybody. I'm going to break his face. It's kill or be killed." It's like, yeah, it's a trip sometimes.
Well, let's hear from Jack Della Maddalena. He's with 2018 Premiership winner and UFC nerd, Will Scope.
Jack Della Maddalena, the local lad, here he is. How did that feel in front of your home crowd, mate?
Yeah, incredible, you know. There's a lot more people here than I thought there would be, so it's beautiful weather. I'm keen to fight.
Now, my research could be incorrect here, but do you have a fighting nickname? Have you got a name here that you can maybe give us now, or what?
Nah, not at the moment. I'm still riding just with my name. But
that's good enough, mate. I think you let the fist do the talking at the moment. Mate, in front of a home crowd, you got lots of family coming down to the RAC Arena on Sunday?
Yeah, a lot of family, a lot of friends. Friends that I didn't even know were coming have hit me up and said they're coming, so it's gonna be incredible.
Are they gonna have to be there on time? You're gonna finish this fight early?
I'm planning on. I think I can get him out of there, you know, that's the plan. I think if I do, the crowd will erupt.
Mate, lovely work seeing a local kid here, and can't wait to see you go to work. Good luck Sunday.
Thank you very much. Cheers, Will.
Well, Josh Emmett's still on stage here. This might just be the longest open workout I've ever seen Robert Whittaker. He's really putting a show on for the fans.
Mate, look at the fire he's throwing right now. And this is what I'm going to see on Sunday. I've said it. This is what he's going to deliver for me. I want to see that explosiveness and that scrappiness in there.
Look at those lats, Rob.
Mate, I told you, he's a powerful dude and he's explosive. He loves being in the phone booth and getting it down. And yeah, I really look forward to seeing the performance he puts on. Like I said, he is 37 now. I'm sure he knows that this is his run and this is the time he needs to make it worth it.
Yair Rodriguez, he's such an unorthodox striker. He's certainly got his work cut out for him, Josh Emmett here. But if there's someone who can get it done over a guy like Josh Emmett, it's Yair Rodriguez with that unorthodox striking.
It is certainly, and like I said before, I never bet against Yair because, yeah, he is so creative and so crafty and so technical with what he does. He controls the entire fight from start to finish, almost like his opponents are on strings.
Yeah.
He sets up beautiful traps and utilizes offensive moves I've never even seen, except for when he throws them.
It is quite remarkable. Josh Emmett's still on stage, as I mentioned. He might just be finishing up here, but Islam Makhachev has retreated to his car, and he's actually waiting for Josh to get off stage. So we'll see how Islam goes. He'll certainly put on a show for the fans, I'm sure. But Islam Makhachev, I mean, he's just that type of guy. He's very reserved, very calm, not afraid to, you know, just wait, bide his time. And he shows that in the octagon as well. He's very patient, isn't he?
I think that's it's a trait, honestly, of the whole team. The whole team has always been that way. They're quiet, reserved, but they mean the absolute worst for you. They're going to get in there with and just hurt you with malicious intent. That is their mission. It's a scary thing to see. It's a scary thing to be on the other end of because you know he has one goal and that's all that matters to him at that point.
Well, speaking of Islam's team, I did want to ask you about the absence of Khabib this weekend. That was one of the biggest talking points heading into this card. What kind of impact would not having your mentor, especially if your mentor is Khabib Nurmagomedov, here with you this weekend?
I'm sure it plays a factor,
yeah,
but I don't know how much of a factor, because like I said, that whole team is very tight-knit. They're all a very tight-knit community, family. They do everything together. They stay together, cook together, clean together, train together. So I think having his team with him is almost akin to having his family with him. Or no, not akin, like it is having his family with him. And, you know, yeah.
Let's hear from Josh Emmett. He's currently with John Gooden.
You know what I mean? I put so much pressure on myself, but it's just another fight, just another opponent. I'm out here in the beautiful Perth, Australia. Man, everyone's so great. I've been out here for a week and a half. I don't want to go home. I'll tell you that. You guys are amazing. And yeah, we're going to have some fun on Sunday.
Let's talk about Perth. Like, what have been your favorite spots that you see? Maybe your favorite coffee shop?
Yeah, we stayed in South Frio For those of you that don't know, it's South Fremantle. Yeah, Wild Bakery, it was amazing. South Beach, all the beaches are awesome. We had nothing but great food. Peaches Supermarket is one of my favorites. And yeah, I'm looking forward to after I get the win, then I can go out and eat, party with you guys on Sunday sesh. And I need recommendations because I'm going to travel around Australia, check out some things, and make my way to New Zealand. Yes, sir, you know it.
Before we let you get out of here, Josh, what kind of fights are we looking forward to on the weekend?
Man, just speaking for myself, you guys are going to be in for something special. The best version of me is coming out Sunday afternoon. I'm doing whatever it takes to get my hand raised.
Love it. Let's let you get out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Emmett.
Sorry about that. Josh Emmett with a bit of personality there. That was good to see. We're off to a quick break here on Fox Sports. Right after this, we're going to see Islam Makhachev taking the stage. Stay with us. Before we go to the break, though, let's get a market update from Neds.
The UFC is finally back in Australia, and we are set for one of the biggest sporting events of the year when Aussie champion Alex Volkanovski takes on Islam Makhachev for the UFC Lightweight Championship at UFC 284. Volkanovski is yet to taste defeat in the UFC and has established himself as the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, while Makhachev has won 11 fights in a row. Makhachev will go into the fight as a $1.25 favourite, but there is no surprise that Ned's punters are getting around Volkanovski at odds of $4. For our UFC 284 multi, we are with Volkanovski to score an upset win, Della Maddalena to beat Randy Brown, and Rodriguez to beat Josh Emmett at $8.32. You will never get robbed by the judges again with the Ned split decision payout. Place a head-to-head bet on the UFC 284 main card, and if your fighter loses by split decision, you'll get paid out as a winner. Take UFC 284 to the Neds level, and always remember to gamble responsibly.
Take it to the Neds level. Know when to stop, don't go over the top, gamble responsibly.
Two reigning UFC champions collide in a true super fight. Islam Makhachev, 11 in a row.
Alexander Volkanovski trying to take the lightweight belt on home soil. Bring him on!
Take UFC to the Neds level. Place a head-to-head bet on any UFC 284 main card fight this Sunday, and if your fighter loses by split decision, you'll get paid out as a winner. Take it to the Neds level. Gamble responsibly.
Healthy me starts today.
What are you doing? Shakes?
Nope.
Juiced microgreens?
No.
Desiccated yams?
Is that even a thing?
It is. Cooked, at least.
It's just light and easy.
Just good food and great results. Light and easy. Get a fast home loan approval and a $2,000 cash bonus when you refinance with NAB. NAB. More than money.
Get prepared for start of semester with Officeworks, like a Lenovo Flex 5 laptop, $997, or a SanDisk E30 1TB SSD, $99. Great value uni essentials at Officeworks.
Is your fixed-rate home loan ending soon? With over 25 lenders and only one application, Lendy can help you find a better home loan rate. Take control of your home loan today. Visit lendy.com.au.
AHM has won a CanStar Outstanding Value Award. Whoa, for health insurance.
Really?
Woo! So I know I'm getting plenty of bang. Whoa, yeah. For my buck.
Well, visit ahm.com.au.
Take UFC to the Neds level. Place a head-to-head bet on any UFC 284 main card fight this Sunday, and if your fighter loses by split decision, you'll get paid out as a winner. Take it to the Neds level. Gamble responsibly.
Welcome to the home of true crime podcasts, where award-winning investigative journalists break the biggest cases and take you on an audio tour of the most complex criminal minds. Crime X Plus. Subscribe today.
This is a national challenge, more profound than at any time since Federation.
Wednesday, China may attack Taiwan at any time. Peter Stefanovic takes you to one of the most contested regions on Earth.
This is the front line between democracy and dictatorship.
The United States will go to war to protect Taiwan.
We must prepare for the worst case.
Will it be World War III? I think it would be.
Are we ready for war? Wednesday, 7:30 p.m.
Welcome back to Fight Week on Fox. We are live from Elizabeth Quay here in Perth. Islam Makhachev, the reigning defending lightweight champion of the world, has just taken the stage. And Rob, we said earlier that it seemed to be a mixed bag of applause and also boos, but as he took the stage, I think we could definitely say that it was probably 75% in the negative against Islam Makhachev.
Definitely more boos than cheers, but I saw Makhachev's face. I saw Islam's face when he was warming up and they were booing him. He seemed to like it. I think it was energizing him. I think he was feeding off that booing crowd, honestly.
Do you think that's how he's going to handle it this weekend? Do you think that it will play to his advantage, the fact that the entire crowd will be against him?
I think there is a certain power you gain when you know you're the invader. You're the one going to the hometown to conquer.
What are you seeing from him here, Rob?
His wrestling is next level. It is next level. And you can just see how effortless everything he is doing. All his throws, his movements, they're all effortless. I practiced thousands and thousands of times since he was a little tyke. Yeah, it's just, he's a master of his craft. That's what we're watching right now, a master of his craft.
And we're seeing a bit of striking from him mixed in as well with the wrestling. Now, he has said that he wants to knock Alex Volkanovski out. Do you think that's a bit of a red herring, though? Do you think he's trying to throw Volk off the scent, or do you think it will be primarily a wrestling match?
You know, I think Islam will always take a takedown when it presents itself.
Yeah.
But we saw in his last fight against Oliveira that he can throw.
Yeah.
And his striking is very technical, very textbook, and that makes it very dangerous, especially when you're worried about his takedown as much as you are.
Yeah, and that's an added dimension to it, because it's not so much just about wrestling/grappling and striking. It's about the combination of both, because as you mentioned before in the past with Colby Covington, the wrestling opens up his striking, doesn't it?
Exactly that. The threat level of his wrestling is what opens up his entire striking game. And for him to have such a textbook, tight-knit, straight line punching style, they just blend effortlessly. They look beautiful when they're put together. You saw that in his last performance.
Could he knock out Alex Volkanovski this weekend?
I think everybody has a puncher's chance in there. Yeah. Like everybody. I think Volk could knock him out as well, just as much. But it's going to be a very curious fight, because obviously Volk doesn't want to go to the ground. He wants to stuff the takedowns and control the feet, just because I think a lot of he believes as well, is that he has the striking superiority. But in saying that, though, Islam is the taller guy. He's got the longer arms. With his tight boxing, with Volk trying to get in and capitalise on shots, this could become a grappling match.
Well, we're seeing some of his crisp striking now. Do you think, a lot was made of that. You mentioned the height, the reach, the length. Do you think that's going to play a massive part in this?
I definitely think it'll play a big part,
really?
the striking. Because Volk's not going to be able to just sit on the outside giving him no looks while being walked down, because Volk you'll see in the fight, Volk will not want his back to the fence. Because if Islam can get Volk's back to the fence, he can, explode in and push him up against the fence, control him that way. I think Volk could utilise a lot. He's going to be utilising a lot of different kicks. I think kicking might be able to throw Islam off his game a little bit. Obviously, you don't want to be throwing too much, because if they get caught, then you're in a scramble again. But I think we may see Volk utilise his calf kick, which he's utilised in fights prior against Islam.
Well, that's how he beat Max Holloway the first time, if you remember. But also, you think of this fight, the scale of it. Pound for pound number 1 versus pound for pound number 2. it's a Russian versus an Australian here in Perth, and it's quite remarkable just how much of a global brand the UFC is and how these global superstars can build themselves on this stage.
It is unbelievable. We are seeing history in the making here in Perth, in Australia, against number 1 pound for pound, number 2 pound for pound. It is historic for Australia. It is historic for the UFC. It is historic for mixed martial arts. It is an unbelievable thing that we are going to witness on Sunday.
The crowd is chanting Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi. I think that signifies that, well, Islam's got his work cut out for him in terms of the atmosphere on Sunday. Are you loving Aussie, 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 oi, 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 don't you?
I love a good Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. It's especially when I'm fighting overseas. I love yelling it out whenever I get a chance.
He told me, Islam, a couple of weeks ago that the crowd doesn't matter. The crowd can't help him when he goes in. And he told me with this, like, cold look in his eyes. And I think that's just the kind of attitude that it's almost like a mental thing, and just nothing seems to affect this guy.
Yeah, and that's what I said when he got in. Started warming up, the crowd's booing him.
Yeah.
He just seemed, he smiled and just seemed to feed off it. Like, him and his team, they're a different breed. You can see that the way they conduct themselves and the way they operate, the way they do things. It's yeah, these guys mean business. Every one of their fighters on their roster means business, and every one of them comes to fight.
Just speaking about the international reach of the UFC, what is it like as an athlete who's part of this organization in terms of, like, you think about any other sport? I don't think there is any other sport that permeates geography just across the world like this. I mean, well, what does that feel like?
Yeah, it's a bit of a surreal feeling because, you know, I'm used to a certain level of attention when I'm here in my hometown, Australia, and I'm walking around and I see fans of my craft. But when I was in Paris for my last fight, same thing. There were guys coming up to me saying they were fans of my craft, and this was literally on the other side of the globe. And so the reach of the UFC really does surprise me, and it's a bit surreal sometimes.
So you were in Paris and stuff. I mean, where besides Australia have you received the most support, would you say?
It would have to be Vegas. There's a lot of Vegas dwellers that love UFC. They love the sport. They love the craft. So I do get a lot of love in America. Yeah. And but then in saying that, like, the time I fought it in New Zealand, it was like fighting at home. You know, I had the home ground advantage again. So I'd have to say New Zealand and Vegas, they both really have a big love for MMA.
Let's hear from Islam Makhachev. Is with John Gooden.
All my career with me, I give you guys.
Look out, gloves incoming.
I have a couple more gifts for you guys. Thank you for coming. Thank you for support, guys. Sorry.
Rob, he seems to be winning the crowd over now with some gifts and stuff. What do you make of this?
That's exactly what I said. Where are the boos now that he's giving away free stuff? This crowd, mate, can it get... You know, gotta love it.
Very cool. Islam, thank you very much indeed. So, here we are. The big moment is just around the corner. How are you feeling?
I feel good, feel great. And media say, oh, Arena gonna support Alex, but I know it's gonna be, for me, it's big support from you guys. All the week, they love me. Thank you.
Couple more from me, Islam, before we let you go. So when you won that belt, you and your team said you wanted to fight Volkanovski here in Australia. Why here?
For these people. Thank you.
Are you enjoying your time here?
Yeah, I spent here more than 2 weeks. I enjoy Perth. Very good city, like very good people, and weather. I like the weather. The beach is close, mountain, like in my country, you know.
I like it.
Thank you.
I've got to ask you about Volkanovski and a little bit of the game plan and stuff. Where do you see he's most dangerous?
He's a good striker, but we're gonna check his wrestling and grappling skills. Sorry guys, sorry, but very soon we're gonna change pound for pound king. Sorry.
Why will you win this fight, Islam?
Because I'm best fighter, MMA fighter in the world. I'm not just striker, I'm not just wrestler, not grappler. I'm a best MMA fighter.
I think you're winning over this crowd. What do you think?
Guys, without you, this is not possible. Thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for coming. Thank you so much. I love you guys. Thank you.
These guys have got some work to do, so one more time, give it up for Islam Makhachev.
Rob, this crowd seems to roll with the breeze almost. Gee, I mean, they came out booing him, and then he gave them some gifts, and then...
Mate, it is amazing what free stuff will get you. like the crowd changed their tune so quick.
I'm not too sure what the game plan was there from Islam, because he gave them some gifts, but then he started riling them up, getting them to, I guess, turn against him almost. I'm not sure what he wants here.
No, you see, what he's done is he's unbalanced the crowd. They don't know whether they like him or not, and I think they do like him. You can see the crowd. They obviously love the home guy, the home team, but he's always conducted himself in a very honourable way.
He's actually walking over. Islam Makhachev will join us very, very shortly. Rob, I just wanted to get your thoughts on... He said that Australia doesn't have... In fact, Islam is coming over right now.
Good, brother. How
are you? Thanks so much for joining us. Islam Makhachev joining the show right now. Islam, thank you so much for your time on Fox Sports. Now, how does it feel to be in enemy territory?
I think this is not his territory. A lot of people come to support me, and I walked around the city. A lot of people wish me good luck, and, you know, the people is good, you know. They're not just gonna support Alex, I feel they're gonna support me too.
You saw that when you threw out the free gloves, everyone was jumping up and down there.
I did this always because the people come to watch, and I just give them some present.
I noticed you came 3 weeks earlier to acclimatise. Did you notice any difference with the climates or anything like that?
Because in the Russia now it's winter time, so cold, and here is summer, you know, that's why we come a little bit earlier.
I wanted to ask you about the fight, Islam. When we spoke, you complimented Alex's striking, but you also said that you can knock him out. Do you genuinely believe that?
This is my goal, because when some my opponents have some like good area, like Charles Oliveira, he's good in the ground, I told I'm gonna finish him there, and what I did. Same thing with Alex, I want to knock him out.
I think we are lined up for an amazing fight. What is the key to victory here? How are you going to try and pressure up against the fence?
Key to victory, this is power. Not 145, 155 fighters power. Lightweight, it's not his area for sure.
I wanted to ask you, Islam, a big story around this fight is the absence of Khabib. Has he contacted you and given you a bit of guidance for this fight?
Yeah, every day, every morning. Really? First message, hey, how's your weight? How you training, what you do, who you spar, and also Coach Javier, other coaches, they also send him the video from the sparring. He give me all good advice always, every day.
How is the weight?
How is what?
How is your weight?
Weight is good, maybe 5.5 kilo, but always. I'm not so big, and I always follow all program, and if you follow all program, it's gonna be easy.
Yeah, I noticed you've always done the weight cut quite easily. You've always had the processes and plans in place to handle it. You did say, Alex, this is not his division. This is not his weight level. As someone who cuts weight and makes, you know, the fine line of your division, do you believe you're going to be much stronger than him and control him that way?
Yeah, of course. I'm gonna be stronger than him, bigger than him, and for sure this is not same power, not same pressure. He missed like many punch, but I'm not like Holloway or Korean Zombie. I have different style, different power. That's why he gonna feel soon.
Alex has said that you're going to be surprised by his wrestling. How do you respond to that?
How I'm gonna surprise? I wrestle with the best wrestlers in the world. And sorry, but someone from Australia cannot surprise me, you know.
Islam Makhachev, thank you so much for your time on Fox Sports. All the best this weekend.
Thank you, guys. See you soon.
See you. Appreciate it. Well, Rob, that was interesting. Islam Makhachev there, soaking in some more of the crowd love. What did you make of that?
Yeah, he's it's hard not to like him. It really is. He's such a down-to-earth sort of fella. He has, you can see he has undoubted confidence in his inabilities, and for good reason. You know, he has done exactly what he set out to do. So yeah, I think this Sunday is going to be a really hard test to Volk, and I think Volk's going to be up for the challenge.
Well, we're going to speak to Alexander Volkanovski in just a moment. A reminder, we will not get off air until we see and hear from Alexander Volkanovski. We're off to a break here on Fox Sports. Alexander Volkanovski next. Stay with us.
With Foxtel, you're in control.
This is your captain speaking.
The sky's the limit with brand new shows from Foxtel and your favourite streaming apps. A world of entertainment available at the touch of a button.
All motives always boil down to sex, money, or revenge.
Jed, I'm telling you this as your friend. Run.
Having any fun yet?
Enjoy the latest shows and blockbuster movies this summer, all in one place.
With IKEA, the phrase, make yourself at home, starts to mean more. Because our homes become a place where we can find our spark. That we can turn into a bigger flame. Until it becomes our true calling. While we might make our homes also make us. So go on, make yourself at home with IKEA.
Wondering when you can put your pants back on? Yeah, that's common. Getting outstanding value from your health insurer? That's uncommon. Join HCF today and enjoy uncommon care.
Is that you?
Hilux. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Why switch your business to SmartPay zero-cost FPOS? You'll join thousands of businesses, saving thousands, like hairdressers, barbers and beauty salons. Restaurants, bars and cafes can supersize profits. It's why mechanics, tradies, car washers and so many more all ask themselves, why am I still paying merchant fees when I can pay zero with SmartPay's zero-cost FPOS? Pay zero. Join thousands of businesses, saving thousands. Smart. Visit SmartPay and switch to us.
The new Carolina Whopper is now at Hungry Jack's. Bacon, tangy Carolina barbecue sauce and crispy onions. Or try a Carolina Jack's fried chicken. The burgers are better at Hungry Jack's.
I love this show.
Gogglebox is back.
Get out!
In the brand new season.
Just call me for the sexy parts.
Making me cry now?
Watch it Wednesdays. First on Lifestyle. The new season of Gogglebox begins February 22. First on Lifestyle.
When that fight got announced, overnight, like it was literally, it got announced and then something just changed. And I was just like, that's it, let's do it. The fact that I'm moving up is always going to be like, you know, me being reasonably small as well, short. And then they're looking at the stylistically, they're like, oh, but yeah, this guy is not only is moving up, where people are going to have a size advantage, now he's versing the best grappler wrestler in that division. Strength has never been an issue for me. I've always been undersized with everything I did. It's going to be a hard challenge, but I guarantee you I could do it. This is making me so much more of a better fighter than I originally was. And I was already, a lot of people like, how can he get better? And I was thinking, yeah, I'll find a way. I found a way. I'm going in and every session I'm doing is a specific position for this fight. I don't want to waste not even a single minute on something I ain't going to do. Right now, every minute I'm spending in the gym is specific for Islam. Obviously, if we don't get taken down, yeah, beauty. But in my head, I need to prepare as if we're going down. I need people to put me in the worst possible position I can, and I fight from it. That's why you will see me always be composed, no matter where I am. So even if he gets me in a bad position, you'll probably see a smile on my face. You'll probably see me talking and be like, oh, this is all you got. Watch me get up. Get up and then be like, hey, you're not as strong as you thought, all right? I'm not as small as you thought, all right? I'm going to be fighting for every millimetre, and I'll do that for 25 minutes. And you won't see me break at all. I'll keep going. I want to be there, and I want to get straight back up, and then I just look at him, look at his corner and be like, what now? Put some of these in his face, so I can't wait.
He is the pound-for-pound #1 fighter in the world, and Robert Whittaker, very few people as modest, as humble, as down-to-earth as Alexander Volkanovski can call themselves the pound-for-pound #1 fighter in the world, but that is the reality for this dad from the South Coast.
It is, and it's led to creating such a strong story for this champ status.
Now, he is in this car. He's set to get on stage right after Yair Rodriguez does finish Alexander Volkanovski. Gee, you'd think he's I guess, brought the whole crew, brought the whole posse in this span right now. We will hear from Alex in just a moment. In fact, the crowd on the opposite side has just given a cheer. I do wonder what they did see. Alex, I imagine, giving them a bit of a tease. But, Rob, he's also growing as a bit of a showman, isn't he, Alexander Volkanovski?
He is, and you can see that throughout his career as he won the belt and then fought Zombie, Ortega, Holloway several times. He has started to become more and more of a showman and to try and delve into that side of the game. And it's good to see, because they're the things that get people hyped up for these huge events on Sunday.
Well, as his friend and compatriot, how proud are you to see this all happen for Alex?
Mate, it is unbelievable to see such a humble guy. We fought on the same circuits in the local scene back in the day, and to see him just stay true to his roots, train out of Australia, get to the world's biggest stage, become the world's #1 pound, the world champion, and now to fight for champ status against one of the best to ever do it. It is unbelievable for him and for Australia.
Now, you guys naturally get asked about each other a lot, and the word that you continually use to describe Alex is powerhouse. Why is that?
He's a powerhouse just due to the fact that he has all the skill sets and the cardio and the explosiveness and the power and the fight IQ to go behind it. And that combination in mixed martial arts, because a lot of people get confused that mixed martial arts isn't about just striking or just grappling. It is how well you use the entire kit together and blend it well together. And the best mixed martial artists have always been those that do that the best, such as your GSPs, your Anderson Silvers, your John Joneses. They're the ones that was able to blend it all together in such a mix that it was absolutely unstoppable.
Now, people often talk about striking versus wrestling, but one thing that you mentioned there, fight IQ. Now, that's something that not a lot of people speak about, but it's arguably the most important component of a fighter's skill set.
And that's you're exactly right, because it's hard to take down a guy that is actively looking for you to do takedowns, actively working to defend against your takedowns. And yeah, I don't think it's going to be as clean cut as everybody thinks. Islam's going to walk in there and just take Volkanovski down and hold him down. I think we're going to see a serious back and forth fight for a while and a battle of wills.
Now, Alexander Volkanovski was someone that no one beyond the borders of this country seemed to respect, even after the Ortega fight, after the Zombie fight. It was only after the Max Holloway 3 fight last July that people started to realize that maybe this guy really is the real deal. What'd you make of that effort?
I think it's just due to the fact that Australian fighters have always kind of been like that. We've always had to really work for our status in the world, for our names to be showed up in lights. I also think it's a personality trait, just because he is so humble. He's a guy just from the Gong, like he's a hometown boy. I think that plays against the showmanship of really selling yourself to the rest of the world. But in saying that, wins get you stripes. The belts get you attention, and 2 of them can only do that twice as much.
Now, we mentioned this weekend that he is coming up against one of the best wrestlers in the world, but after seeing what he did against Brian Ortega, I mean, I don't know that Volk's really going to... He's certainly not going to tap to anything, but he's not going to be submitted here, you wouldn't have to think, with his efforts in that fight.
It's hard to say, because if Brian Ortega... I understand Brian Ortega's grappling is next level, you know, for Volk to get out of that guillotine was unbelievable, because the only thing they got out of that guillotine was pure grit and heart. And, you know, Volk has that in spades. But Islam's wrestling, the Dagestani wrestling, the Russian wrestling, it is different. It is different, and you've seen it against their entire roster of Islam's team that have done it. They take people that are good wrestlers, good grapplers, and they make them look like beginners. So I think the wrestling is definitely something Volk has obviously worked to defend against a lot, but also be aware of and respect the way he has been doing anyway.
Yeah, and Alexander Volkanovski's wrestling is nothing to sneeze at, is it, Rob? I mean, we've seen him in there with the best of them, and gee, he's just an absolute powerhouse on the ground, as you mentioned before.
Exactly. He has the entire skill set. And we've seen him in fights utilize his own wrestling to control opponents. He's taken people down and held them down. And he's done that to win fights. He is experienced with the entire craft. But I guess we just need to see how that shows itself against Islam's wrestling, Islam's striking, as well as the power and strength and mass advantage.
Well, speaking of striking, the man who awaits Alexander Volkanovski could very well be on stage at the minute. It is Yair Rodriguez, who will be fighting for the interim featherweight championship this weekend. Could I just get quickly your thoughts on Yair as a fighter?
He is just amazing to watch, isn't he? Everything is just so crisp and clean and smooth. He's so creative with the way he strikes. He can strike from any angle with his feet or his legs or his elbows or his hands. He's just a delight. He's a treat to watch. I love every time that man steps into the octagon.
Well, just on his creativity that you just mentioned, Will Schofield interviewed him just yesterday, and he asked him about that creativity and how you pulled such strikes out of your bag. And he basically just said that, well, instead of resetting after someone throws a punch or some different kind of strike, instead of stepping back and trying to reset, he tries to create a strike out of that movement. And that really fascinated me there, that he tries and he looks for avenues to create strikes, to invent strikes, stuff that no one's ever seen before.
Yeah, and that's kind of what you can see right now. He's flowing into the next movement. Yeah. So his initial attack becomes his next, becomes his third, and it just becomes one continuous stream of movement. And that's hard to deal with, especially when you're fighting against it and you don't know any of the tells. There's nothing textbook you can rely on and see.
Now, I do notice there is a bit of a size discrepancy here against Josh Emmett. I mean, Yair's certainly got the range and the reach, but, I mean, what are you making of his physique at the moment?
Yeah, he's always been the leaner guy, tall and lean, and he's definitely got the range advantage. Emmett looks like an absolute powerhouse in there, you know, and I guess you can just tell from their physiques and the way they're doing their open workouts here, the type of fight we're in for. Josh Emmett is going to want to get in, be explosive, make it scrappy, and turn it into a dogfight. Yair is going to utilize every skill and tool set he has to control the range, to keep you at the end of his arms, at the end of his legs.
Just a reminder, we will not get off air until we hear from Alexander Volkanovski, but continuing the chat on Yair Rodriguez, his striking is just so dynamic, got some tremendous knockouts on his resume, perhaps none more iconic than that elbow against the Korean Zombie, but here are some of his best. I mean, against Andre Feely, against BJ Penn, he's just a joy to watch, isn't he, Rob? Look at this.
Yeah, that's why I say it's like, how can you bet against this fella? He pulls things out of absolutely everywhere. And like you said, that elbow against Korean Zombie right at the end of the fight, after they had battered each other for rounds, was unbelievable. He's so creative and crafty. And you can't see it, but it takes so much confidence and belief in what you do and what you can do to be able to do that. Man, that elbow was so good.
It was outstanding.
So
and it was
good.
at the buzzer as well. It was the last second of that fight, and then he pulled it out of the fight. It was a fight that he was losing as well.
Mate, it was so good because, like, it is such a weird elbow. Like, you don't do... I got to ask, you reckon he practiced it?
I imagine he has, because he says he spends all that time in the gym trying to invent strikes.
Oh, wow.
It's just a tremendous thing to see. And, as you mentioned, very, very unorthodox. Yair Rodriguez taking on Josh Emmett this weekend. I've got to ask, I mean, he just feels like must-see TV. I mean, I don't think there's anyone more deserving of this interim featherweight championship title shot.
Definitely, he's definitely earned his stripes, you know. And you look at the names he's fought on the way up to where he is now.
Now let's hear from him with John Gooden.
The biggest fight of your career, how are you feeling just a couple of days out?
I feel great. Weight's coming down easy. I'm ready. I've been working for this for my whole life, so the only thing that I expect out of this fight is that you guys like it, as always. You know, I do this for you guys too. So thank you for your support. I can see your energy. I know Sunday is going to be amazing, so just wait.
How do you think these guys are going to be on Sunday? Do you think they're going to be loud enough? They're going to give you the energy? What do you think?
Hell yeah.
You guys got it?
Let's go.
You and Josh are always in incredible fights. Are we going to see another classic between you guys, or are you going to get your work done super fast and walk away with the belts?
I mean, I don't have anything against him or anybody in my division or any other division. The only thing that I want to do is get in there, finish my fight as soon as possible so I can get there safe. That's the only thing that I really want. And by doing that, giving you guys a high reel. So that's all what I want to do.
Yeah, we love the sound of that. And just before you go, I just found out something very special, actually. You've managed to bring your family all the way over from Mexico to be here.
Yeah, I'm super
happy.
happy.
What does that mean to you to have these guys here with you through this process?
Yeah, like, I don't know if you guys understand, like, for us, this is the other side of the world. So you know, it's like you guys are ahead 19 hours of us. So the adjustment to this has been pretty hard, you know. And thank you, buddy. Thank you, man. It's been really hard, you know, but I'm here for you. It's always been one of my dreams to come here and train or know this place. I know it's a special place for me, Australia. I have a lot of friends here that I love, and I truly appreciate your culture, everything you guys bring. And I can just say too much love for you guys. Thank you.
Brilliant stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a great fight. Can't wait. Best of skill to you. Yair Rodriguez.
Yeah, there he was, Yair Rodriguez, Rob. Just such a nice guy as well. I mean, he's such a vicious knockout artist. It's so nice outside of the cage.
Yeah, and you know, that's how it should be. You don't, we're professional athletes. You can conduct yourself as viciously as you want in the octagon and still be a gentleman on the outside.
Now, we are counting down to having Alexander Volkanovski on stage very, very shortly, so don't go away. But, Rob, just on Yair Rodriguez, I mean, you mentioned, you know, how you should be carrying yourself outside of the cage. I mean, do you see similarities between Yair and yourself, like sort of softly spoken but vicious inside?
I think certainly, and I think it's not just me, it's a lot of guys that just don't conform to the circus and misbehavior of the goofballs. It's it's exactly that, because we are professional athletes. We go in there and we fight our hearts out. It's do or die in there. But when you leave that, you know, you can be a gentleman, you can be a professional, you can be a businessman, you can be a dad, you can be a husband.
And interestingly as well, you know, I mean, he's going there, he's going amongst the crowd, really making time for the fans, those who really make this sport what it is. I mean, this is just great to see, isn't it, Robert Whittaker?
You can see he is feeding off the energy right now. You could see that during his workout, but when he was speaking afterwards, that he was really just feeding off the energy. He is just so grateful to be here and to have a crowd turn up for him, and you know, to be in a position where he can put on a show and performance for all his fans.
Well, just those three guys in the featherweight division that we're speaking about currently. It's just interesting what we see with Yair Rodriguez being such a nice guy. Alexander Volkanovski, who will be joining the show very, very shortly, is also a very nice guy. And the man that he's fighting, Josh Emmett, Yair Rodriguez, taking him on this weekend, is also a really softly spoken, kind guy. And you saw that with the crowd reception that they both got.
Yeah, both guys are like really upstanding
Battle of the nice guys?
Yeah, it's Battle of the nice guys. But both guys you've seen in there and absolutely become demons. And I am so... What we just saw is exactly what we're going to see in the fight. We're going to see explosiveness and scrappiness from Emmett, who wants to get in there and knock his head off, and Yair control it, flow into the next attack, and try and control the fight that way.
Well, Yair Rodriguez is with Will Schofield. Let's hear from him now.
Yes, Yair, how's this crowd, mate? How good is this crowd?
Man, I'm really happy. You know, I'm happy to see this because you guys show love to foreign like me. You know, I'm not from this country, and even like that, you managed to make me feel like I'm from here, you know, by the love you give me. So I'm really happy. I'm pumped. I can't wait for Sunday.
Sounds like the local man's coming in, Volkanovski. That's someone that's on your list to fight, right?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully one day. For now, I will leave him alone. I don't want to talk much about him because he has his own stuff going on. So, you know, I'll let him alone. I have my own stuff going on right now, and I just wish him the best.
Good luck Sunday, mate. Looking forward to seeing action.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Thank you, brother. Thank you, man.
Alexander, the Great Volkanovski.
Well, Robert Whittaker, as much as we love Yair Rodriguez, he just got his interview crashed by Alexander Volkanovski getting out of the car, and he's taking the stage now. What do you like about Alex and what you're seeing from him right now?
He's certainly the crowd favourite. You can tell the crowd's behind him on this one. And, we're looking at his size right now. He looks like he's filled out, but in the right way. He's still lean. He's still got muscle mass. I know we just spoke with Islam, and he said that he's going to have the power advantage and the weight advantage. But Volk looks like he's put on...
I don't know that he will have the power advantage.
Yeah, it looks like he's put on the appropriate size. He's going about the right way of doing it to take this fight.
You speak about the showmanship. He's really soaking it in the crowd atmosphere, isn't he?
He is feeding off the energy. You can see that. He knows it's his home crowd.
Yeah.
He knows that everyone came here to see him, and you know, he's just enjoying himself, as he should.
You mentioned like how you don't really, I mean, the pressures of fighting in front of your home fans can kind of get to you at times. Alex is a guy who never gets nervous, and I reckon he's going to be a guy that thrives off that this weekend.
Yeah, he's a different sort of character. He gets in there. He loves the pressure. He loves the adversity. He loves the challenge, which is why I think he's, you know, I don't think he's as much as the underdog as everybody thinks he is in this one.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the narrative around this fight is if Islam is to win this, it's going to be on the ground. But if Alex is to win this, it's going to be via his striking, which we're about to see in a moment. What do you make of Alex's striking?
I think Alex's striking is very unique to him. He's explosive and fast and powerful. You saw how he was able to adapt between the Holloway fights to come up with a game plan and a striking system that completely dismantled Holloway's strikes. And Holloway is regarded as one of the best strikers to ever be in the game. So, yeah, I think I would have to say Alex has the superiority in the striking. But how that plays itself out with Makhachev's textbook style of being tight-knit, as well as the threat of the wrestling always being there, we'll have to wait and see.
Well, tactically, what is it about his striking that makes it so good, Rob?
He's coiled up. He's coiled up like a spring, and he can explode into a strike at any moment. You saw that in the Holloway fight where he was waiting, moving, and then he'd explode into a dangerous strike and land effective shots.
But it's not only that, he's so durable as well. Like he can dish it out, but he can take it as well, and I think that's what makes Volk so dangerous.
Much like I've said before, that's why I consider him a powerhouse, because he has a skill set. He has champion level skill sets, but he has the heart, the chin, the gas tank, the power to go with it. And you know, he is a hard fight for everyone, for anyone in any division.
Has he fought anyone like Islam Makhachev? The skill level, as you mentioned, the combination of both. I mean, Brian Ortega is an excellent grappler, but striking-wise, he was no match for Volk.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly that. His striking is going. I feel like he's going to have the striking superiority. Yeah. Makhachev's going to have the range, obviously, and he's going to be very textbook, tight-knit, tight elbows. But I can see Volk moving around a lot. You know, being the lighter guy moving up, you would think he would have the speed advantage. Right. I see him using that.
Okay, cool. Well, just in that regard, though, I mean, Islam, I don't think has fought someone with the heart that Volk has. I mean, the belief that he had himself, as we mentioned, he's not going to tap to anything.
Yeah, exactly that. Volk has heart and spades, and I do feel Islam knows that. That's the vibe I was getting off Islam when I was speaking to him. He knows how hard this fight's going to be, and he's prepared and trained appropriately for it. And when I was speaking to Volk earlier, that's the vibe I got from Volk too. He said the camp's been brutal, and you know, all good camps are. So I really look forward to seeing the best of Islam and the best of Volk come Sunday.
Yeah, I do too. When I spoke to Alex after that lightweight title fight between Charles Oliveira and also Islam Makhachev, he said that, because obviously he was supposed to be the backup fighter for that fight, his entire camp, if you like, was centered around Islam Makhachev. He expected him to beat Charles Oliveira, who just so happens to have the most submissions in UFC history, by the way. So he respects Islam Makhachev. He knows that he's got a massive challenge ahead of him.
Yeah, and he trained for it. He said he didn't waste 1 minute not working a position that he may experience in the fight. And I believe that is the right amount of respect and approach to winning this fight. Looking at the way Volk's moving, you see him moving his hips, you see him shifting his weight a little bit.
Yeah.
I think, like the Max Holloway fight, the calf kick is going to be present in this fight. I think we could see a heavy presence of calf kicks, and I don't know how Makhachev takes those. Because you saw how off-putting it was for Max, how much it took away from his game plan. So for him to do that against Makhachev, who is quite upright and uptight, we're going to have to wait and see.
I mean, this is probably what his camp was centered around, Rob. His grappling, his wrestling right now. That's Craig Jones on stage with him. What do you like of what you see from him right now?
I think a lot of people can't appreciate what we're seeing right now. And I know Craig Jones, so that's Craig Jones working with him right now. Yes. And I know Craig Jones has been with him his whole camp. Yeah. Craig Jones' grappling is world level. I think he's silver medalist at the ADCC. But he has unbelievable grappling. I've grappled with him and I felt like a kid. Like, I felt like how my son feels when I grapple. It is ridiculous, his level of grappling. So for Volk to be working with him so relentlessly and full time the way he has been, like he's going to be ready for a grappling game. He's going to be ready for any submission Makhachev pulls out.
I asked you a little while ago, what is the most difficult martial art to drill? What is the most difficult martial art to train? And you said by far it's wrestling. So could you say that this is probably Alexander Volkanovski's most difficult camp today?
It would have to be. If it was focused around wrestling, like specifically for Islam, it would have to be, because wrestling is the hardest sport in the world. It takes something out of you, mate. It makes you hate it in the morning, hate it before going to bed. So it is rough.
Alexander Volkanovski will be joining the show very, very shortly. We'll speak to him at the desk, and just look at him soaking it up with the fans as he walked over to the stage. In fact, he was signing autographs for the kids, and he's living it up on social media right now, and the fans are absolutely, well, they're drinking out of this cup, aren't they?
Mate, he is feeding off this energy. He knows, we know, the crowd came here for him. Yeah. This is his show. UFC 284 is his show, and yeah, this is his time, and he's just soaking it up.
Absolutely, and he'll be speaking with John Gooden in just a moment. In fact, he's taking the stage. Let's hear from Alexander Volkanovski.
Honestly, I've took his job from him. I just want to thanks for the support. I don't know if you remember last time I was in there, I was getting booed, but I remember looking down that camera and saying, everyone back home in Australia, I can see you, I can hear you. That's exactly what that got me through. I was saying let him boo, but the support now, obviously can hear you now, and thank you again for the support, really appreciate it.
Couple questions for you, Alex. I hear there's a man in town who's looking to take that #1 spot. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, mate, it comes with that position, you know what I mean? Everyone wants to take either your belt or the pound-for-pound #1 spot, so it's pretty cool, but I'm coming for his lightweight belt, so that's what he's got to watch out for.
You fought here in Perth before. What were your memories?
Yeah, I fought here, I think it was 5 years ago. Last time we were here, and just like this, the support has always been incredible. So very thankful again to have the athletes, Australian athletes, be able to fight here in Australia with a crowd like this. As I've been saying all week, the fighters deserve it. I deserve to fight in front of a home crowd, and the Aussie fans deserve to have a UFC event here.
Alex, you are the pound-for-pound #1 on the planet, but you've pushed yourself this camp to another level. You were telling us earlier on, but share with these guys the kind of performance they can get excited for.
Every time, mate, we always say we level up. Is that what I say, underdog mentality, you know what I mean? How we all are here, we always work hard, especially here in Australia, down under. we make sure we do what we got to do. And I'm always raising the bar every single time. I put that work on in that gym. And again, just remember, while I'm out there doing my thing, when I get my hand raised, obviously I'm going to hear yous, but I'm going to feel yous, yeah? Definitely.
What would it mean for your legacy to get that second belt?
Oh, mate, it doesn't really get much bigger than that. You know, I've obviously been a champ and defending and being pound for pound, incredible. But again, I am in pound for pound #1, but I'm going to show you why I'm there as well, yeah? Yeah, a heavyweight next, yeah, let's go.
And before I let you get out of here, you said something really poignant earlier to me, and that was how people should challenge themselves. You're going up, you're putting yourself out of your comfort zone, but there was a message in that for everyone.
Well, that's it. That's exactly right, and that's something that I do want to. I always sit there and try and, you know, give the right messages out there. And, you know, I've always said, you know, I might be undersized and all that type of stuff. I'm moving up. Yeah, this is a challenge. I love a challenge. I think we should all challenge ourselves. It makes you better. Trust me, I'm twice the man I was before this camp. I'm twice the fighter I was. And you're going to see that Sunday when I take that lightweight belt. Let's go!
Alex, how does it end?
Huh?
How does it end?
I'm feeling, hey, we need to capitalise on the feet. I've been saying it. He's going to want to get me down. I ain't going to let it happen. I'm going to put these hands on the chin. I reckon we're getting a finish. Let's go. Especially with a home crowd, I'm looking for that finish.
Pound for pound, #1 in the world, looking for the finish. Ladies and gentlemen, Alexander the Great, Volkanovski.
One more thing. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie!
Absolutely fantastic scenes here in Perth. Alexander Volkanovski will join the show very, very shortly. But Robert Whittaker, as we mentioned, he has a chance at history, becoming only the 5th UFC double champ. And we're going to go to our top 5, presented by Musashi at the minute. Number 5, Henry Cejudo, when he became double champ. Obviously, an incredible moment there. But Daniel Cormier, when he fought Stipe Miocic and obviously defended his crown against Derek Lewis. Amanda Nunes in at number 3. Fought Chris Cyborg, of course. Iconic celebration. Number 2, Conor McGregor, the notorious one, UFC 205 in Madison Square Garden. And, well, the number 1, he joins us very, very shortly, Alexander Volkanovski. We're hoping that he will, in fact, I think we're willing it into existence, become the 5th simultaneous pound for pound, rather double champ in UFC history. I mean, this is just a moment in history that I think we'll all remember.
You're exactly right there. This is history in the making, and for it to be here in Australia, in front of a home crowd, it's got to feel extra special for him. But it is history in the making.
We said earlier that it felt like it took a while for anyone outside of Australia to really respect it, but he's really grown on everybody. Can I just ask you personally, Robert Whittaker, how has Alexander Volkanovski grown on you the past couple of years?
It's with his tenacity. It's with his tenacity and his approach to training and fighting. He has a real warrior mentality and drive and doggedness to his training, to his camps, to his fights, and to see him do so well and to getting such success and getting the wins the way he's been doing it, you know, you got to be proud of it. Got to be proud of it.
And not only that, he's been very vocal about mental health and I guess, you know, his interactions with the haters and the bullying online and stuff, but he's really grown into it and he's learned to ignore all the negative messages and really just be himself. And I think that speaks to his maturity and speaks to his success as well, Rob.
It does. You can see him trying to get awareness for bigger and better things, for him to use his platform and his spotlight to bring awareness and attention to certain facts.
He joins us right now, Alexander Volkanovski. Thank you so much for joining us, mate. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
Only 3 sleeps to go, mate. How are you feeling physically, mentally, spiritually?
Oh, good, man. It's obvious that it's lightweight. Obviously, I'm still cutting weight, but a little bit more healthy this time around than featherweight. But we still need to get some weight off, but feeling good. The vibe's always good fight week, but to be doing it here in front of an Aussie crowd like this is incredible.
I did notice that you were moving around, quite well, still fast, still light on your feet, but your muscle mass, you put on a lot of muscle mass, still lean as anything. I attribute that to a lot of like serious dieting. You've taken this challenge at a heavier weight with a very serious and respectful approach.
Mate, well, it has to be. Again, I gave all my opponents respect, especially Islam. I wouldn't usually try and bulk up that little bit for probably anyone else in the lightweight division, but it needed to be done for Islam to have that little bit of extra strength and power. But we found a perfect balance where we can still stay sharp and move how we want it. That same featherweight bulk that everyone sees, we still want that movement because that's going to be key for me.
Absolutely. Islam said he's got about 5 kilos more to lose. How about you?
I wonder if he does have 5 kilos. That's good. I just want to make sure he does it healthy because we can't let these fans down. So hopefully he makes that fine. Me, I've got like, maybe like 3 kilos or something left. Easy, cruising.
Definitely. What is the road to success for you? Obviously, you have a mind of not getting taken down in this fight, but how do you control this fight?
Well, obviously with range, footwork, you know yourself, that good movement. Obviously really camouflage when you're going in, where you're going to be, making it hard, give them a puzzle. So it makes it hard for them to even try and shoot on you, or even want to shoot, or even figure the right time to shoot. And then that's another thing where a lot of people I think get it wrong as well, where they're so worried about a takedown, they don't let them be themselves. They don't fight the fight that they usually would fight. They don't see things how they usually do because they're so frozen, second-guessing themselves and all that type of stuff because they're worried about the takedown. You ain't going to see that with me. You're going to see me moving the way I usually do, nice and sharp, making that a puzzle for him. I'll worry about the takedown if it comes, If he's there and he's in, I'll worry about that then because I need to capitalise on the feet.
Yeah. He said in the media that he wants to knock you out. I wonder if that's a red herring. Do you think he's trying to mislead you a little bit, trying to get in your head a little bit there? Or do you think he actually believes it?
I think he wants to, right? But I mean, again, he's a very calculated fighter, very, he doesn't take many risks, he's not, that's how he is, right? He's, how could I say, like, he approaches his fights, again, that's why he likes to, even though he's a wrestler, he likes to stay at range and wait for the right time to come in. He will throw here and there. He will counter. He does put himself out of position. I won't give too much away here and there, but usually very safe and make sure, he doesn't put himself too much out of position and doesn't take too many risks. So they're very calculated like that, and him trying to go for the finish is obviously him taking big risks, so that ain't going to happen, I don't believe.
I saw that Craig Jones was in your camp a lot of the process, and I think a lot of the fans don't really understand how high level his grappling is. So tell us, how have you taken the grappling approach to Islam? Because having a training partner like Craig Jones the entire camp has got to mean something.
Obviously, having someone at that high level that putting you under the pump the whole time is going to be great. But he really committed. He's been with me in the last few fights. He's really committed to this role. And he even, ever since the backup while I was in camp, he was studying Islam. And both of them, obviously, but mainly Islam. We knew Islam was probably going to win and that would be the tougher fight and whatnot. All respect to Charles. But so he was in the gym, practicing all these things, doing it himself, putting himself in them positions, working on pinning and all that real Dagestani type of grips, using the legs and really focusing on pinning and not too much on the submission, only when the submission's there, and things like that. So he was doing that time and time out again, just to really understand what he's doing, right? Really understand what needs to be done, where we could go, things that we can do in them situations. So it was perfect for me. It really was. And for him to put me in them positions and have someone like him, you know yourself, one of the best grapplers in the world, trying to strangle me and then me getting that resilience, you know what I mean? It's going to do wonders in the fight.
Day in and day out. I can only imagine your cardio for grappling, for those rough exchanges, for those really tight, draining positions has only gone through the roof.
Yeah, definitely. Again, and that comes to training with them types of guys, and obviously bigger guys putting you under the pump, shark tanks, just meat grinders and shark tanks are just guys just shark tanking me every couple of minutes, new guys coming in and all that type of stuff. So really putting me under the pump and it really got me ready.
Alex, you mentioned the fight that Islam had against Charles Oliveira. Now, what's interesting about Islam on the ground is he almost doesn't need to advance. Like we saw the head and arm choke with which he submitted Drew Dober and Charles. I mean, the fact that this bloke can generate a squeeze from just about anywhere shows how dangerous he is, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, again, I've got a lot of respect for Islam. I know what's ahead. That's why I prepared how I needed to prepare. But yeah, look, we studied all the things. We know what he's good at. We know where he wants to go and how he goes, how he approaches the submissions from where he wants to be and things like that. But again, having guys like Craig putting you in them positions, and put it this way, I'm one hard man to get with the arm triangle. I'm actually I'm the type of guy that I want to start betting people, so see if you can do it. Let them get as deep as I do everything late stage. I let them get as deep as they can, and I'm still finding my way out, even with guys like Craig.
We can't wait to see you in action this weekend. Alexander Volkanovski.
It helps not having a neck as well.
Absolutely. All the best this weekend. We can't wait.
Appreciate it, man.
Cheers.
We're going to watch history in the making,
That's
brother.
it, history, baby. Let's go.
Great to see you. Alex, thanks so much, pal. Appreciate it. Yeah, let's do it, yeah. Take care. All the best. Alexander Volkanovski there, Robert Whittaker. How good was that to see? Confidence is high.
Unbelievable. The energy, you can feel the energy, how upbeat he is, how positive he is with his outlook on this fight, with his prep that he went into it. You can feel the confidence he has in his camp. And like I said, to see the names of Craig Jones there working with him day and night, yeah, I think we may see history in the making.
I think we will too. Well, they kept us waiting a little bit, but that's all we've got time for. Robert Whittaker, thank you so much for your time here on Fox Sports today.
It was a pleasure being here. What a great atmosphere to be around, great people to see, and yeah, let's see what happens on Sunday.
Absolutely, and thank you at home for watching. Don't forget you can order UFC 284, mainevent.com.au. We'll see you tomorrow for the press conference.
Every game, live and exclusive.
Ain't no stopping us, we do the impossible.
Love music, trivia, and comedy? Well, New Rock Quiz will blow your amp.
The award-winning Australian music quiz show